your 20%, so get your head out your ass. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you hear the I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. She said, do you like waffles? I said, hell yeah. Been watching Equals 3 until 2 a.m. I ain't got no iPhone, but I got a DS with a keychain, a pinky. Her cupcakes are the best. I've been failing my classes cause I don't give a damn. They say the world is my oyster, but the free market's a scam. Everything's been changing since last generation was born, and they won't try to take and change. Use a two-edged sword. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life. It's never too late to fall in love with the world. Your past is not today, so say you're straight with a twirl. Yeah, we've all made mistakes before, that's the fact of life. But once you restate your heart, you'll be just fine. Now it's your life, you say it's all mine, all mine. Revel in your friends and hobbies, let your heart speak. Wanna drift to say some shit, just block that internet freak. I'm the antonym of the internet, still cleaning up the viruses that you had left. I think I'm falling in love again. Don't stop until you I'm the antonym of the internet, been fighting on new grounds over if my love is valid. Fuck the cynicism, let the colors fly. Don't care, you think it's cringe because it's not your life.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dragon's Arcade. So, who's in the chat today? One second, let me just switch over to live stream channel Discord, and we're good to go. Hello everybody, we are back with Mouse PI for Hire. I've been really enjoying this game, it's a lot of fun. Lots of fun. But yeah, yesterday the AC went off, so I was, well, technically it was the day before yesterday, and it was also off yesterday too. So I was kind of dying. Did not sleep well the night before last, and now I'm actually sleeping decently. Hey there, hold on, I'll be full with you in a couple moments. Okay. No problem. So, we got some clues, we got some sewer systems, found a fucking voodoo doll.
So...
Alright. You know, I've been meaning to look more into voodoo, because I've recently learned, I'd always known that, like, voodoo, like, as it's portrayed, had kind of been, like, you know,
If
not
the depths
quite
is the
what it
route,
believes.
Then I need to get neck deep in it.
Well, not
too.
like a very accurate version of a belief system. I mean, what common version of a belief system is generally very accurate to it, right?
Sense
But
a strong lead with this one.
I've heard that apparently it's like portraying voodoo as like voodoo dolls and dark rituals is kind of like portraying Christianity as
The hell's
Satanism.
manja
That was
manja?
the
Or a
analogy
secret
Burger
show?
Creek made at least.
Both got
And
cult
ever since I've
fingerprints
heard that, I've been
all
like,
over
you know,
'em.
I really need to read more into voodoo.
Gotta
Just because
talk
it
to
seems
someone
like an
who
interesting
speaks
belief system,
street.
probably with its
And
own cool
majors
ideas
go
and myths
crazy.
and stories. And I'd like to look into it, because I like
Yeah,
looking
I
into
don't
stuff
know.
like that. I also saw the new God of War trailer, and that was fun. Second place for Benny Lynch. Alright. So, we've got like a bunch of info. Betty apparently grew up near Kurd's near the same place, though, as the, like, Kurd family, right? So they grew up near each other and then were involved in scandals that led to their deaths. That's interesting. We got good mystery going on here. Hello. Hey, Code and Assembly. I've actually wanted to talk with you. So, I've been reading the Vatican letter you sent. You recommended me to read. I finally got around to starting to read it. I haven't finished it yet, but I have been reading it. I have never thought I would agree so much with the Pope. Like, not even just over, like, one point, over just a lot of stuff. Particularly, it was when he declared, like, I forget what the section is named. It's, right after the part where he calls for regulations on tech companies, the principal subsidiaries. It's like, it's a whole section where he talks about how there are certain things that are like common use, you know, that we assume that people need access to as like a basic utility or a basic right that they should be able to access with fair ease and regularity. And he mentions how the development of technologies is clearly something that makes a difference in people's lives, that is substantial enough that it's on the level of having access to easy water or food, right? It's like people should have access to these technologies and the knowledge on how to use them, because it can drastically improve their lives, and there's not much reason they shouldn't have easy access to them.
People need help.
People need help everywhere.
And I was like, oh my god, he's basically talking about the internet being a utility. That's what he's describing. He's describing in different language, but that is what he's describing. And it's one of those things that I'm very much, like, a proponent of. Like, the internet should just be a utility bill you pay. You shouldn't have these, like, drastically different speeds and charges and shit. Maybe you pay a bit more based on your traffic or something like that. I would suffer in that system, but I'm willing to suffer in that system because it would better it the whole in that particular regard, and it's not a sacrifice that would be too bad. Or maybe there's, like, you know, certain speeds you pay for, I guess, but they're all standardized between areas. It's not this, like, mix-mash AT&T and Cox, and we regulate this the way we regulate, like, a power or a water bill. Oh, it was weird. It was weird reading that. There were... Okay, man, what's up? We were talking about the letter from the Vatican that Assembly got me to read, and how I agree with the Pope on, like, a lot of stuff. Not just in relation to technology, of course. He also had other stuff about well, I guess transhumanism is partially technology. To be fair, we live in a very technologically influenced world. And morally speaking, he was mostly talking about helping out the poor and not, like, you know, otherizing migrants. Although we had a pretty balanced perspective on it. It wasn't just like, hey, let migrants in. It's like, no, let them have safe passage. Let them be welcomed where they come. And also deal with the problems that are causing it. Like, deal with the whole thing. I like to mention on concrete support to instate that just praying for people in need is not enough. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of stuff he talks about, and all of it's very rooted in, like, just general, don't be an asshole. which is wild, and that's something that needs to be stated so clearly, but it kind of is, right?
You need a shout.
It kind of is in this day and age, but, like, just don't be a dick. Help people out. Be generally kind. I can get behind that. I might not agree with you about religion, but I can get behind the whole generally be kind to one another thing. Amazing how simple that should be. Oh my god. Okay, what the hell? The frick? I'm trapped behind a door. Well, I gotta reload. Oof. I gotta reload there, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought it was generally well written so far. I'm only down, I think, to like paragraph like 120 or something like that. Oh my god, there's so many sewer gators. I'm saying this while I'm shotgunning policemen and sewer gators inside a abandoned sewer tunnel in black and white vision. But you know.
Creepy crawly vency mousy.
I love how even the spider is animated like a retro cartoon. But yeah, it's very well written so far. I'm eager to get to the end of it, actually. I'm probably going to try and finish it later tonight, after stream. I'm loving Postal Ass Shotgun Reload. You know what? One thing I actually... So I finally have like a little Snap-on controller for my phone, and I've been playing Marathon. And I was looking for Marathon 2 the other day, and I was looking for like the game section of the iOS store. There are a lot of full games that are getting ported to iOS. I knew that iOS had a push for that a while back. They had Resident Evil. That was like their big one, right? Resident Evil Village was playable on the iPhone. And it was like a somewhat stable frame rate on the iPhone 15, I think. It was a battery guzzler, but it was a mildly stable frame rate. And apparently, there have been a lot more games getting ported. Fucking Subnautica and Below Zero are both on the iPhone. GTA, Doom. Yeah, well, I mean, okay, look, I'm going to be honest here. Doom getting ported to the iPhone, no matter which Doom we're talking about, does not surprise me. That franchise has been on basically everything on Earth. Like, oh my god. This level's a freaking... This level is evil. Freaking evil. It keeps ambushing me in tight corners. Okay, so this is the difficulty spike, I guess. You're definitely disagree on the mortality and the idea of accepting limits humans put on God. Exactly! I disagree with that. But I also... okay, so here's the weird thing, though. I also don't disagree with a lot of the other stuff he had to say on transhumanism. Like how transhumanism should be designed, which should be there for the purpose of improving human life, not necessarily just for the sake of surpassing limitations just cuz, right? Like, if we're going to do it, it should be there with the goal of improving life and the quality of life. We should have that be the focus. The focus shouldn't be optimizing out the humans who are suboptimal, so to speak. Which is something I agree with. So even though I do disagree with him on like looking for immortality or accepting limitations, I do also agree with, like, with the technology, we probably don't add DRM to our goddamn eyeballs. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think that's... look, I don't think not adding DRM to our artificial eyeballs should be controversial. I'm sorry. I know some people out there will be like, oh, companies have the right to make their parts proprietary. If you're gonna sell me an artificial eye, it better goddamn well be repairable. I'm sorry. Like, no excuse at this point. You even understand the theological perspective, you disagree. Yeah, one of the things I will say about it, for the most part, it's a guy who I can respect the point on even when I disagree, because he makes coherent arguments he's clearly thought about and has a clear reasoning on. And although I disagree with him on a theological level, we're also in alignment with the whole idea of humans should be respected and treated as human beings. Even if we come at it for completely different reasons, right? Or from completely different angles. I can still see someone who's arguing for, like, basic human decency and be like, I'm not going to disagree with him just because he's religious. I'm going to say, yes, I agree with you. My reasoning is different, but I agree with a lot of these points. I also disagree with some of them, but that's the nature of the beast, and you are being a fairly respectful human being in a lot of the ways you're describing it. At least in the way he wrote it. I don't know how he personally talks, you know, day to day. But his writing was generally just, like, generally respectful and caring. With an emphasis particularly on not being an asshole. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. Why make it repairable when it can be upgradable instead? This is what I'm saying. Like, there are plenty of people who will disagree with me about stuff like that. But his reasoning is different than the reasoning I'm usually more exacerbated with. Here's the thing though, you want to live as much as possible for self-growth and gain as much policy, the way you desire is something noble. Right! It is the thing we disagree on. From my perspective, living as long as possible is a very noble pursuit in a lot of ways. Alright, so where am I supposed to be going? So, there is a bookmark somewhere. Let's see here. Do I have a map? No, I do not. Sniff out the Shoes Trail. Okay, I am unsure what to do here. Oh! Am I supposed to, like, pull this lever? No? What am I looking for? Underwater? No? Okay, I'm starting to get derailed here. There's a big machine. It's going haywire. I pulled a lever, and I'm not sure why. And now I'm... Okay, so... Boiler maybe? No, this is the Shrew's like moonshine equipment. That said, you can stretch your natural naturally, giving meaning of that life much more meaning. Yeah. Oh no, more people. Hey. Hey. Also, oh, another thing actually, speaking of like being less religious, that's a weird way to put that, but okay, whatevs. Rick and Morty is kind of killing it this season. No, I'm serious. Rick and Morty is actually, I think, good again. The last season was already pretty good, but the new season of Rick and Morty is fucking amazing. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but it's really good. Oh, here it is. I have to get this hammer. Like I mentioned that God made people have all these wildly different perspectives to create a dialogue that leaves something into peace. Which is basically saying people have different opinions. It is the dialogue between those opinions that can help us move forward as a species. At least that would be my way of interpreting it, I suppose. But yeah, people having different opinions is a good thing. If we were all the same, we would always get stumped on the same problems. I mean, I wouldn't want to live in a world of people who have the same opinions as me. I would hate that place. No, like, legitimately, people who, if everyone thought like me, I think I would hate the world. Because not only do I actually enjoy being somewhat different, I enjoy having opinions that are somewhat my own, I also understand that, like, in order to live the life I'd like to live, I need people doing those other things that I wouldn't like to do, but maybe they enjoy doing. Like, I don't want to run the government, but Sonny has to. So these different perspectives fucking help. Nothing would get done if we all had the same opinions and tastes and, like, beliefs. We just get stuck in this, like, endless status quo. Oh my god, I'm running out of ammo. We're gonna fight these things with... Yeah. Assembly's gonna post the letter, by the way, in the live stream channel Discord. If you guys want to check it out, I do actually recommend it, and this is coming from someone who is very much not religious. I do recommend giving it a read. Listening and experiencing other opinions helps you grow as a person, and he seems like a pretty chill guy, all things considered. My god, that machine is loud. Acid power! Alright, so now we rise, win. Ow, 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 ow. I posted what TDL and I are talking about in the live stream chat. Yep. I saw it there. Alright. Wait. What the? The wind isn't blowing. Damn it. Where is the wind? Come on. Aha. Let me try this again. Okay, let me try this again. That's what he said to create dialogue. Different opinions lets us grow. Ooh. Alright, I think I know what I'm going to do now. Different opinions lets us grow as long as we have open minds and can accept we are sometimes wrong. Having an opinion is a virtue, all things considered. Yeah, it is. It is something. It is one of the best parts of humanity.
Oh,
is that we are all so weirdly different.
Aye, dark it be, shall. But I can show you the way to the light.
But I won't die, right?
Course you will, baby. One day. Same as all living things.
You know, the mysterious old lady who's probably like magic is kind of weird. Though I've already met ghosts, so really, how weird could it be? It's also a bit weird considering I live in Louisiana. Whenever I see the Cajun trope, it's always a bit odd. Like, I live in Louisiana and I do not see that many people who talk with like a heavy Cajun accent. I've seen a few. I've met a few people in my life, one or two, who have talked with a heavy Cajun accent, but very few people. Very few.
Holy
Wow,
mozzarella.
there's a whole damn
There's
city.
a whole damn city down here.
We have reached the Undercity, everybody. We're in D&D territory now. The hell? You also live in the city.
Alright,
That's true.
That crazy
That
old
is
shrew
true.
wants to play
But I
hide and
do
seek.
have
Then I better find her before
relatives who
she
live in the
finds
country,
me.
and I do visit them regularly. And most of them do not talk with a Cajun accent. Although, I will admit, some of them do have a slight Cajun accent, which kind of proves my point. They're some of the only people I do know that have even like a slight one. Huh. Everybody's staring at me.
Shucks. Lives busted again. Yeah, that's like the third time this week. Gotta tell John or
Okay.
Jack, or what's his name?
It's like a weird shanty town built into the pipework. You know, it reminds me of like Nosferatu, Warren kind of thing, right? From Vampire the Masquerade, where they live in like the underground sewer system in these like massive undercities. It's kind of like that. These are basically acting like the Nosferatu here. What is the number for? Best to watch my speech of any sort of accent, only raw sentences. See, you say that, but that's basically impossible. Because an accent is kind of defined by the way that words are pronounced, and the pronunciation of, like, words and language changes over time. The way that someone in the 1950s pronounced things was slightly different to how we pronounce things. Part of it's like the shortening of stuff, right? Like, our speech in the modern day is a lot shorter. We tend to use contractions more, and we also tend to use abbreviations for stuff, which is not something that the average person does, and it filters into our speech, causing us to speak a bit more fast-paced, so on. It's basically impossible to have an accent. Doesn't matter what you do, it becomes an accent. Yeah, like, an accent in America, having no accent in America means you have an American accent in Britain. You're both speaking English, but you both have different accents depending on where you live, right? I mean, even in Britain, right? A Cockney accent, or a Cajun accent, or a Texan accent in the US. Oh, actually, if you want to see a really bad example of this, read the original fucking Dracula. Oh, gods. There is a Texan character in Britain who's there to, like, court the, like, noble, you know, the young girl who gets, like, attacked by Dracula. Oh my. His sentences, I'm not sure if it's the age or the fact he was a British person, like, you know, writing down the sentences, but it is fucking hilariously bad. Overly Sarcastic is the channel that finally got... Overly Sarcastic Productions is the channel that finally got me to read the original Dracula. Oh my god, that fucking accent. Oh, it's painful. Like, I don't even know what was going on half the time. I actually didn't understand some of his sentences, but I don't think the other characters understood either, so I kind of just, like, went along with it. There are some parts of that book I actually technically haven't really read because I just didn't understand his accent, what accent they were trying to write down. Is general American accents, what most people think when they say no accent. Right. Oh my gosh, I need to say that though. It's hilarious. But everyone has a bit of an accent. Even if it's just like the way you particularly say words too, right? It's not even specifically a regional thing. Some of it can be like the social groups you run in. Like tech people definitely have a bit of an accent or a dialect, right? In the way we spout off terms and different stuff that like is supposed to mean something to other people. Just like I know accent is generally referred to like the manner of speech, you know, the tone you take and the way you pronounce things, but it can also go into like the dialect you use, right? Everyone has something that's going to make you a bit less understandable to other people. Alright, let's go ahead and go to the objective. We've been looking around this place. We found a lot of, like, different things. We've been looking around this place for a bit. I have a bit of a robotic and stiff way of talking. Right. What do you think my accent would be? Because it's hard for me to, like, tell. What would you say mine is? I would say it's fast talking. I talk very, very quickly, and I tend to slur my words together. I actually had to take speech classes on my S's when I was in elementary school, so there's definitely some holdover from all of that. It's probably because I grew up not really talking to other people a ton, and mostly, you know, online with people, not in voice chat particularly. Like, I didn't have voice chat for a lot of things. They call lunch dinner. Yeah, like, dialects can also heavily affect the way you talk and interact with others.
No see.
We met
All right,
5 minutes ago. Tops.
Oh, time be a funny thing, baby.
Okay, so I know the whole World of Darkness thing is becoming a trope, but
Anywho,
this is a
what's that you
mage. She is a
sniffing
mage
around
from World of
here,
Darkness. I would say
Just
you have a
looking for
general
clues.
American accent.
and you dig
Cool.
up any shell?
Cool.
One. But one
Excellent.
ain't much.
Ah, oui. Quantity, quality, both got weight, no?
She's definitely a
Since you
mage.
fresh
Fucking
round here, I
Sahajia
reckon I
time
told
mage
you a
over here.
little anya. But I need some back scratching too, Shell.
That sounds vaguely unsettling.
We have a fucking time
Relax,
mage.
Shell. Just a figure of speech. See,
She knew about the guy's
things be
ex-wives,
falling apart.
even though she's apparently been down
Elevators
here this whole
busted, pipes
time.
leaking like a
She's been
crawfish
teleporting
bucket,
around,
and that's just
projecting
the
herself
beginning.
across time and space.
Here.
She seems to have, like,
Take
experienced time
Might come in
differently.
handy for
This
long.
is she's clearly some sort of, like, correspondence
Do what
time
you came
mage
to do.
who's guiding me on my journey.
You are a real bad man.
Maybe an entropy mage as well. Perhaps one of, like, the voodoo craft. I'm just gonna translate this into a little world where everyone's mice, you know? It's just World of Darkness, but the base is not humanity, it's mice. The were-mice. Trouble in the Thicket. An old Mouseburg Herald issue. This one opens with a striking article about the unfortunate events that took place in the Strew Thicket. A village largely populated by smaller cousins of mice. Due to a wave of public outcry, some rather vehement mice, in the spur of righteous indignation, destroyed several properties. There were casualties. Surviving shrews escaped into the countryside. Alright. Also, fucking just outright teleporter. Just outright teleporting. F the mustache. Oh, fuck the mustache. Fuck the mouse state. Oh, the mouse state. Not mustache. Mouse state. Fuck the mouse state? I'm guessing it's like the mouse state, you know? Like the state, but I guess they just tacked on the words. Just tacked on the mouse. I think I will wash my hands in the... I think I will wash my hands in the sink. Oh. I forget what exactly my issue was. It was a long, long time ago for me, and I've mostly, like, gotten a handle on whatever it was, so... Der Longman. The Long Man. Oh, look, it's like an actual human. We're like a monster to them. A human is just like an actual monster. Interesting. I know it was for my S's. I think I tended to slur them a bit. Like, zzz, like, zzz, just like, I forget, oh god, I can't do it anymore. Mostly because I probably basically trained myself not to do it as much. I think I've probably done it once or twice, I just can't do it on command. Oh, I can't get in there? Damn. Alright. Well, what do we got over here? Nope. Okay, we gotta go back down. I was hoping maybe there was something more up there, but nope. Ow. Wow, this place is like... I'm like a rat in a maze, everybody. Work now, die later. Very, motivational. I say motivational in the most derogatory way possible, by the way. Do 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 do. Oh, there's just like a guy bleeding out up here. What the fuck? Time eats everything. God, this place is depressing. Even the graffiti. Honestly, it's hard to put into words, but the general idea of wiping an accent means minimizing pronunciation to lowest audible degree, or perhaps speaking neutral accent all around, not hard, not soft, hard, soft, not sounding this or that. It's somewhat on par with what assembly says. But see, even then though, like, okay, how do you say aluminum? Do you say aluminium or aluminum? Because if you say aluminium, people are gonna say, "Oh, you have a bit of a British accent. You pronounce things like a British person does. You have a bit of a British accent." All right, what is this scoreboard for? Spiked D is Soylent Green is mice. Soylent Green is mice. Okay, so lift is broken. What is this objective trying to point me towards? Trying to figure out where to go. This game can be a little confusingly laid out. Do I have to like break through here maybe? Nope, can't break through that way. Although I do think I need to get in there somehow. Let's head over here. See, I don't need to be on this floor. I need to be up. Yeah, we have to get further up. It's not on the ground floor. Whatever I'm looking for is not on the ground floor. It's like right above me. Okay. But yeah, accents are basically just how you pronounce things, how you say things. Japanese, to trying to lose my American accents, I had an easier time than TDL. I still suck at that. I still try and pronounce things like an American when I say Japanese words. Or when I'm trying to spell, like, pronounce, like, sound out Japanese words. Like, ugh. But, yeah. Accents are also, like, very, like, personal to an extent. Because it's language, as long as you can get the idea of what you mean across, it's not really wrong, right? I know there are technically rules for grammar, but at the same time, if everybody understands what you mean, is it really wrong? It's this weird thing where I've been, like, because I've heard this joke a few times, and there have been a few variations of it different people have used, which is like, that joke actually doesn't work. Did you understand what I mean? Yeah? Well, then it worked. And I'm like, I mean, on one hand, the joke doesn't always work, right? But at the same time, the general idea of, like, language...
Another piece of the puzzle.
Hey, it's the magician's cloak.
Into place.
Why do I need that many cannonballs? Oh, no. You know, like, if people understand what you're saying, and you're saying it to them, and you're being coherent in your, like, your distribution of your thoughts, right? I mean, aren't they communicating?
Fix the valve, she said. Yeah.
It's different when you're doing, like, speeches or something like that. You need to be understood by the widest possible audience. But if somebody's communicating to you using terms you understand, but they're not being, like, grammatically correct, is that so much of a problem? There is something to be said, though, about using proper grammar for things like writing or getting down your thoughts in a way that the most possible people can understand. Gatoringan. 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 See, I'm starting to get it, too. It is funny to think, though, that it really is just, like, the different ways we pronounce letters, right? That cause a lot of different accents. Like, a lot of Asian accents are born of the way that they pronounce certain letters or combinations of letters differently than we do. Alright. I really wish I had more shotgun ammo. Grammar is one of those popular ways to structure a language, ahead of rival methods such as words, order, random words, random, good, and eh. Oh. I like how she says one of the most popular ones. One of the most popular ways. Words order, words random words random good, and eh. It is generally more acceptable than those. I'm out of ammo. I really should have stocked up for this. Alright, let's swing across the way. I'm also like really low on health.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just a puppet on a string.
Alright. Got him. Oh yeah, that rapid fire mode makes the pistol way better. But no, I've been playing a bit of Marathon, believe it or not. Not a ton. I've only gotten through a few levels. Mostly because I've been in a few places where I both don't have access to like a keyboard, so I can't do Minecraft early. And I also don't have like the time or ability to do stuff, and so I'm basically doing it. I don't even sometimes finish an entire level. Sometimes I'll just get to the next save point and be like, "Oh, cool, time to go." But yeah, I've been trying out Marathon. It's pretty fun. It's definitely not a game I think I would play on a desktop. I think I enjoy it partially because it works so well on mobile. It's also free, by the way, on iOS. I'm not sure if it's free on Android, but it's free on iOS. All the Marathon games are free. I knew that Aleph 1 was free, right? But I always assumed that Apple was going to charge for the official release or something. But they didn't. Weirdly enough, they allowed the Marathon game to be free on iOS, which is like kind of crazy to me. Old Marathon or new Marathon? Old Marathon. I'm talking Marathon 1, Marathon 2, Marathon Infinity. I played a bit of Marathon 1. I will say it is a very annoyingly difficult game at times. I'm only playing on normal difficulty, but I'm at... So, the last level I got to, okay, was the... oh god, I forget what it is. Basically, we're trying to send a message to Earth with Leela. I haven't met Durandal yet. I haven't really met Durandal yet. I've been working with Leela, trying to get a message back to Earth. And, you know, I secured our boarding against the four, and I'm trying to get a message back to Earth. And there is this level with the oxygen meter matters because we're in space. I don't have the assault rifle, which became my workhorse weapon. I'm really, really upset about not having that because the energy pistol is very floaty. And, I'm dying so much. I died from suffocation, like, multiple times. It's kind of weird, though, because every time I die, I just, like, pack it up. I'm like, okay, I'm good, and I go to something else. Because I'm doing this for, like, a few seconds at a time, right? I'm not, like, playing and playing and playing. I want to try them, actually, because they're cool boomer shooters. There's one funny thing about where free Marathon 1 remake on the engine of 2, and the first one is somewhat abandoned, where I heard. Yeah, they're all, I think they're all on Aleph 1. They're all on, like, the kind of Marathon 2-ish engine on Aleph 1. From what I understand from watching... This is from what I understand from watching, Mandalore's videos. Which I hold up as some, like, really good videos. I enjoy just listening to him talk about Marathon lore. Also, one thing I will say, I really wish the voice actors he got for Durandal were in the actual game. I would pay those guys to just select for Durandal and Durandal and the Svit entity or Thoth, whatever, the Durandal Thoth hybrid. I would pay for those people to just like do the voice lines, and then like whenever you run into a terminal, right, you just like load up the voice line and check it out and see what happens. Because I loved the way they did it. Hey, full Doom is Doom phone. Why won't for Marathon? It is a very solid game. It's also weirdly different than Doom because Doom didn't really have vertical shooting. Marathon cares about verticality, and I have no idea how. Because one of the interesting things about Doom, right, is that you can shoot in any direction, and it doesn't matter. As long as you're in the horizontally aiming the correct way, your vertical aim doesn't really matter for Doom because you can't look up or down. Marathon has full 3D environments to look around in. They still seem to be doing the whole we're basically faking 3D, but I have no idea how it works. I would actually love to look in to see how they did some of the vertical aiming for that. Because, dear gods, it looks so weird. Like, again, they're clearly using that, like, hacky method that the older 3D shooters used. But you can miss bugs vertically when they're flying around the air. They have, like, a particular vertical hitbox. They have all this stuff, and I'm like, I thought old 3 games were, like, kind of janky in that regard. It's so bizarre. Shovelware is attempting that, but Marathon nailed it. Some pros call it Proto... It really is! Proto Halo is how I would say it as well. I would call it Proto Halo as well. Alright, there we go. Got it. And healing. Yeah, it is very much Proto Halo. A lot of the ideas it had got recycled in Halo. Like in... I know, again know this from Mandalore's video, but apparently the Flood was originally an idea proposed for Marathon, not Halo. So the Flood were originally supposed to show up in Marathon 2. I think, on like the Svit home world, Aloan, as like a disease that had been unleashed, and was like like cyborgs and mostly mechanical creatures were immune to it.
A whole new level.
What? Der Longmon gathering. This is like a Sasquatch gathering kind of place. It's like we're going to see Sasquatch. Most of the time it was Doom style for general direction. Yeah. Like, because I played a bunch of old retro boomer shooters, and the ones that are, like, genuinely old and not recreations tend to have that Doom verticality doesn't really matter thing. It takes a little bit getting used to that, honestly, and it was kind of weird how modern Marathon is in all the ways. I will say, the not reloading thing, look, I understand it's more complicated. I wish there was a reload button. I really do. I understand that wouldn't necessarily make the game just objectively better or anything, but I do wish there was a reload button. I really wish there was a reload button, even if it wouldn't make the game better. I do wish it had it.
Hey, come back here.
Oh. The skull. Laugh with me, skull. Yes. I heard somewhere the skull's supposed to make like a little laughing animation when you kill people with it, but it's not doing it. Weird. Ha ha ha! Oh well. Oh, the lever. Pull the lever, Kronk! And yes, don't worry, Assembly, I have noted down, you need your big lever like Kronk. You need the big thumping lever. I may make a pull the lever Kronk. I do incentivize you. I will probably give you an assistant if you would like to have them pull the lever so you can direct a minion to pull the lever for you like Kronk. So I actually do want to ask, does Dr. Corvax want to pull the lever himself, or does he want a minion? A minion or an intern he can order to pull the lever. You know, go full Yzma on this bitch. Go full Yzma on this bitch. You know, actually, okay, another thing, okay, moving on to a different topic, too. Got rusty memory. Was there reloading mechanic in Marathon? Like, using a pistol style? No. You can't reload. There's no reload button. The only way you reload is when you empty a round. There is no manual reload at all. No levers for me. It's my lever. No Kronk for this mad scientist. So the new God of War also released a trailer recently. I've seen it, and I love it. I know some people are going to be like, eh, but I'm like, oh, I'm all on board with this. Because Kratos is kind of arced out story-wise, right? So we're moving on to his wife while Atreus grows up a bit. So his wife died, like, you know, at the beginning of God of War, the new God of War 2016, right? Where Kratos goes to scatter her ashes. Well, I imagine this is taking parallel to Kratos scattering her ashes, right? Like, she hasn't been scattered yet, so she can't... She's having, like, weird issues. It looks surprisingly hyped, but I keep my head cool. I know. But also, this team does have... The team at PlayStation does currently have a pretty good track record, even though they've been moving in some disturbing directions. So I'm hyped for it. I'm mostly hyped because I'm a mythology guy, and I want to know what the hell their mythology plans are here. One of the main things is they clearly are going for, like, a very wide mythological net. They've got Sekhmet, who's a popular Egyptian god, and they've got a Hindu god of war. Sekhmet is also a form of a god, is also technically a god of war, so I think they're going for, like, 2 gods of wars that the god of war's wife is fighting, right? They seem to be some of, like, the initial antagonists, so to speak. How were you? Mage! Mage! Fucking mage! She's a fucking mage.
Not exactly. Just chasing some
fucking mage right here.
Something I need.
Well, après toi l'heure de douze, non?
That's,
Let's
yeah,
fix
fiction.
that.
Or
Oh, shit. Their Longemon gonna feel like a cool wetland breeze compared to their alternative.
I would really like to know what the hell you're on about.
I'd like to know what goes on in your head.
You don't want to know, baby.
Let
Let
me
me
help
help
you
you
out
out
a
a
little.
little. Here.
Special
pass
pass
just
for
for you.
you.
Now,
Yes. Scoot.
I feel like a pawn in her game with all that non-stop foreshadowing.
Look, she's a cryptic mage and a time walker, clearly. She's got bigger plans. The long man. The long man. But no, I'm interested to see what gods we get to see in this game. One of my big likes is 2 things. I want some Sumerian/Babylonian gods, and I want some Mesoamerican gods. And when I say Mesoamerican gods, okay, I had to make a qualifier. I know Quetzalcoatl is cool. We all like Quetzalcoatl. I know it's the only fucking Mesoamerican god most of you know.
Right, Jackie.
But he's not the only Mesoamerican god. There are other cool gods. Are we in a fucking fight ring? There are other Mesoamerican gods. You know, there's Tezcatlipoca, who's like this weird god of smoking mirrors and shadows. The smoking mirror shadow. Like, we've got the fucking, you know, spider god. We've got the spider mother. Fucking insane nightmare eldritch primordial. We've got Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun. We've got other characters in this pantheon. It would be like if Greek mythology only ever saw Hermes. Like, yes, Hermes is the one who's, you know, on all the marketing material, obviously. I know people say Zeus, but really Hermes is the one who's just absolutely permeated modern modern culture to an absurd degree. Look, Hermes is everywhere, like everywhere. He's even fucking like retconning Asclepius out of fucking existence with the whole fucking Caduceus, Rod of Asclepius thing. Fucking retconning the lesser gods out of being. Like every pantheon has like that god, you know? Like Norse, they have like Thor and Loki kind of share the spotlight there. You know, they're the big ones. Odin gets a little hype, but let's be real, Thor and Loki, especially due to the Marvel movies, have really just taken over as like the Norse gods. You've got Ra and Horus. They're like the two big ones in Egyptian mythology. You've got I think the goddess Shakti is somewhat known of in Hindu mythology. Kali, though, you know Kali. Everybody knows Kali, right? The big blue-haired lady with multiple arms and the severed head in one of them. She's like the poster child for Hinduism. I'm not saying that's correct to that culture. I'm just saying from an outsider's perspective, that's what most people see when people say the culture's name and think of the gods of that culture, right? They're thinking Kali. You know, I'm surprised how little combat mods are out there to God of War. It has solid combat, doesn't need improvement. Combat mods are for games with shitty combat. I'm looking at you, Skyrim. Let's be real, the only reason combat mods are like so desperately needed is because they have bad combat. Like, Dark Souls doesn't have a lot of combat mods. Speaking of Cajun, I've heard it if you're North I-10, you're a Yankee. Kali, that's what they made on the Idol of Fools and Demon Souls remake. Now I remember. Kali is not the Idol of Fools. Kali's whole thing is that she's fucking pissed. She's super emotional. Hindu gods are actually kind of interesting. I don't know a ton about the faith, so apologize if I get anything wrong. But from what I understand, they have like a shard system basically going on where all gods are shards of lesser gods. Like, gods will exist separately, but they're also part of these larger gods that can also exist simultaneously. It's a very, like, interesting way of doing stuff. And Kali's whole big thing is that she nearly danced the world to death. Like, she got in a battle frenzy when she was, like, literally, one of the gods fighting against all these demons got so fucking pissed that she just, like, split into, like, Kali just, like, split into existence. It's like, oh, I got this, girl. I'm literally your internal rage. I'll handle this. And she ripped them all to pieces. It was this the demon's whole deal was actually a kind of cool power too. They were fighting this demon where every time a drop of his blood hit the ground, he would manifest a clone of himself, like a fully formed, perfectly a fully formed clone with all his power and all his abilities. God damn it. Low last save. Like the Christian charities, even more so. Yeah, it's like that, but if you got an entire Greek-sized pantheon out of it. It's a little crazy, not gonna lie. This is an actually intense puzzle. Alright, where did I go for that save? Damn it. This is actually a challenging puzzle. Sounds great. Yeah, so basically these goddesses were fighting this demon, and every time he died, every time a drop of his blood hit the ground, a fully formed clone of himself with the same power would pop into being. So as you can imagine, it's kind of hard to kill something like that. And so one of them got so pissed that her other aspect, the war goddess Kali, essentially manifested. And Kali's answer was to fucking, juice them. So she would kill them, and then juice them. Like, squeezing their bodies full of blood, and drinking every last drop. She literally drank an army out of existence. Fucking legend. Yes! Just got it. Closer to Kali. Again, I can't say that for sure. I'd had to compare the two. I don't think she was blue. Blue skin is also like a major thing for Kali. That's how she's usually depicted. She's also usually depicted with a severed head and stuff. Like, Kali has a lot of insignias that I don't really see on either version of the false idol. I might have to compare the two versions, though, to confirm or deny. I will try and check out the two versions of it and see if maybe you're right on that. I'm not going to say yay or nay. I'm just not really seeing it. Incendiary rounds, bitch. Oh, okay, so it's the bottom corner where the text is kind of covering up. It does laugh. Yeah, it does laugh. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, right. Right. Every mythology, right, has their little thing. Every mythology has their, like, poster child. And I get it. Quetzalcoatl is the poster child for, like, all of Mesoamerica. Not even just Aztec mythology. One of the reasons he's so ubiquitous, I think, is because he technically appears, or versions of, like, a feathered rainbow serpent appear across most of the Mesoamerican cultures. The Incans, and the Mayans, and the Aztecs. They all had something kind of like Quetzalcoatl. So I get it. I get it. He's cool. I love my boy Quetzalcoatl. He brought the feathered dragon look to the whole... He makes the feathered dragon just look amazing, right? Great guy. And he's also one of the Aztec gods who's not a horrible eldritch nightmare monster, right? He's a god of crafts and human farming and shit. He's a kind of chill dude. He even created humanity, so he's very, he's very poster child, right? He's very, this is who your big guy is. But there are so many other gods. He's not even the head of their pantheon. Like, come on. For Sumerian mythology, I would have to say Ishtar is the head. I know Tiamat is in D&D now, but the Tiamat from D&D is not the same as the Tiamat from Babylonian mythology. The name is the same, but not much else. I've talked about that before. Writers Unite. Oh, look, the writer strike we led. I posted something in live chat. Comes to games with good combat don't get modded. Turns Dark Souls into Devil May Cry. This is for people with skill issues. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real with you. This is for people with skill issues. This is for people, because the problem with Dark Souls is the Dark Souls combat is very similar to stuff like Devil May Cry, except we don't allow for animation canceling. We commit to our actions. We have good mechanics and commit to what we do. We don't have to animation cancel to look fancy. Also, Elden Ring basically got a Devil May Cry weapon. Like, we basically got the Virgil slashing moveset from that, from an intelligence sword. There's literally a sword that gives you, like, the Virgil slash as like a skill. And on top of that, beam swords. Because why the fuck not? Aw, they're gonna be locked atop.
There, I did it. The flood is gone.
Happy?
Much obliged, Cheryl. See?
You're
You just like one of them high and mighty industrialists.
What?
You try to do something, end up making a mess. Figure a way to fix it, then pat yourself on the back like a real...
Ooh!
Frankly, Grant,
she's
I don't feel like
she's
a
calling
winner.
our shit
Not one
out.
bit.
Damn.
But did you find what you've been looking for?
Damn, called our
Yeah,
shit
no.
out.
Though I did find a whole lot of curious stuff on the way.
She called us out.
Très
Damn,
bien.
boy.
It's about the journey, not the goal.
They can't be
no?
more different. Yes, Elden Ring follows something.
I've
This
seen
is fundamentally
toys up
different
there
system. By the way,
pricier
how are
than
your
that
cancelled
philosophy.
Ninja Gaiden going along?
Don't go pushing your luck, baby. Now go.
I'm gonna choose
You
not
still
to
got
comment
plenty
on that
more to
because I am
read.
objectively wrong.
Is this a spoiler or what?
Fair point, my friend. Fair point. Oh. My, oh my, oh my. Do 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 do. All right. Yeah, we're gonna escape out the hell out of here. The Quiddo phone. We leave. Why'd they make it look like a face? Or is that just trypophobia? Not trypophobia. The thing where you, God, what's the thing where you see 3 holes or 3 dots and you suddenly think it's a face? I forget what that's called.
Gotta get the board up to speed and, maybe take a bath.
Yeah, we've been in the sewer. We probably stink. But yeah, I do want other Mesoamerican gods. I would suggest either Huitzilopochtli, Tezcatlipoca, always a good choice. Very rascally as a character. Pareidolia, thank you. That's it. Pareidolia. Steve's. Canceling accommodates very aggressive pace of these games. Souls are more grounded and finds. The silky smoothness making the character very responsive regardless.
Nothing but swamp stink, bug bites.
But no, I would suggest either Huitzilopochtli, Tezcatlipoca, or God, I'm forgetting the name of the god. There is another god that I would like to see, but I'm completely blanking on the name. They were one of the gods that took over the sun myth. Gods, I completely forgot. I blanked.
One points to another.
But no, I do think it'd be cool. I have a feeling they might show off Quetzalcoatl if they show any Mesoamerican gods. It's mostly because every time they always show Quetzalcoatl. And again, I like Quetzalcoatl, but it'd be like if the only Greek god we ever saw was Hermes and Zeus, right? Like, we get so much mileage out of Athena, you know? Or Ares, or fucking Hephaestus, or Dionysus, right? Fucking Hera's her goddamn hissy fits. There are loads of cool things you can do with a lot of characters. And entire pantheons are basically like massive character rosters you can pull from. When you only pull from the same main over and over again, you don't try any of the other options, it drives me a little mad. Pop culture is like that. Pop culture is like that sometimes. It's why whenever I run to something that does touch on one of those other mythologies more in depth, I get more excited. Because I don't know all these stories by heart. I haven't seen 1,000 iterations of them. People talk about mythology being overused, and it's like, my gods, my boy, you have not been using mythology.
This sleazy scientist keeps popping up with his sleazy look and even sleazier ideas. Can't quite put my finger on him.
Well, I know you'll crack this
Oh,
case.
man. Hinduism also has some stories I really need to read. There's just a lot to Hinduism. It has a lot of text and a lot of different variants you can read, a lot of different
I
regional
wouldn't
stuff.
believe it
Hi,
myself
hi.
if it weren't for the dying
Hey,
words
Dawn
of a
Seeker!
disillusioned
Good to see you.
cheeselegger.
Hi, hi.
Poor sod.
Is that pity I hear in your voice, Jack?
Now it's just a cold. And I hate being used. I can't stand seeing people treated like tools by those crooked creeps in fancy suits, flaunting their ill-gotten authority. You know that better than anyone, Corny.
Excuse me?
We've both seen war, Corny. Or did that slip your mind? We were the tools.
Ah, right. Well, Jack, I think it's the best.
But yeah,
course of
so
action
I
is
do
to
enjoy
hunt
mythology,
down
but I
those
do think some
cultists,
mythologies are a bit
scientists,
overplayed. I still think there's plenty to say. I mean, look, listen to Epic the musical if you think there's no more places for Greek mythology to go. They took a story that's been told variations of 1,000 times and made it interesting. Added depth to some of the side characters, really like flushed it out, you know? Let's do a game. Let's do a game of like Baseball the TCG. Baseball the TCG. Wonder if there's probably like a baseball TCG. There has to be like a baseball TCG. Hearing Protag in this game, realizing the other reality I was a noir detective. Alright. We're gonna do an 8. Oh, wow. Her cards are really fucking good. Damn. Take you to call the code Giasi AMV I posted. Yeah, that shit was good. Thank you for that, by the way. That reminds me, I need to add that to my Plex server. I have a whole music video section. Like, just with AMVs and shit. Because AMVs notoriously get taken down kind of often. So I try and preserve them whenever I can. Oh my gods. I just struck out. Damn. Okay, frickin' hell, finally. Got something here. Home run! Baseball were some of the first trading cards, yes. That's why I'm saying it, right? Like, yeah, I wonder if anyone ever made, like, a baseball TCG with, like, rules like this. It would be interesting. There probably is a version. Like, Magic the Gathering was, like, based a bit on that kind of baseball collectible card game, right? Perfect encapsulation of evolution of that anime. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Alright. Oh, yes. Strike him out. Alright, you gotta strike him out 4 times. I know it's 3 strikes and you're out, but, you know. We're not playing that game anymore, champ. I think MTG was the first game, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, MTG was the first game, but I'm surprised there was no, like, baseball, like, a group of baseball cards, because I don't think they're all the same company. I think there are a few variations of them. But I'm surprised whoever does baseball cards didn't look at that and go, oh, look, they're doing well. Maybe we should do something like this but for baseball, right? Like, they can do it for Wizards, we can do it for baseball. Right? Or am I a little crazy to think that? Oof. Round 5. Pitch focus. I probably should have discarded things earlier. Oh yeah. We're going to fucking 9 here. You're not getting there. Ah, damn it, you got in. Draw. Frick. It would make sense, more based on Cosmic Counter. It would make sense, yeah. Like, seeing this game, I'm like, this is actually kind of obvious. It doesn't take much either. You just have, like, 4 zones, right? You just have, like, 3 zones your cards... You have, like, the 2 zones where people drop down cards, and you have the 3 places a card can be. We're gonna discard that one. Discard that one. We're gonna go for a power swing right out the back. Come on. Oh, damn it! Got a very thick deck of cards to collectible cards with Spider-Man rules. I don't know his name. Oh, I actually know about... Okay, so I know about that. There are people who, like, have tried to find the rules. I'm not sure on the details. I do know which cards you're talking about, though. Damn it. Pay to goddamn win the game. Play. Yes. Got it. No baseball ones. Probably exists somewhere, though. Yeah, I mean, like, everything... It's something like that has to have been tried, is my thought. Oh, no, we got to flip a coin. They can skip bases. That's hilarious. You can, like, let them skip. I don't think that's in the rules of baseball, but okay. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Yup. Man, I am getting wrecked by her. My cards are all shit. That's part of the reason. It's my cards' fault. It's all my cards' fault. Oh no, we got a fucking coin flip. Yes, got the out. The coin flip feels like it's just alternating. Because it was baseball, then bat, then baseball. And if it's bat again, I think it's just alternating. Pitch focus. Nice. Although I did waste the pitch focus there. Yeah, I've seen these before. Well, of course, nowadays you can just play Magic the Gathering if you want to play Spider-Man, right? Alright. Oh, damn it. He's only getting one base, though. Alright, we can put a stop to this. We can put a stop to this. Crazy pitcher. Crazy pitcher with pitch focus. Yes! Out! Alright, as long as we stop him from hitting the ball, we should be good. Also, we can do a fielding play to try to stop that. Yes! It's going to come to a coin flip. He's going to hit it. No, he's not. Okay, so it's not just random. It's not just like, or it's not alternating set. Alright, I win. Very close game. How many of those tokens do I need? Oh, I need 20 of them, jeez. I'd wish to enter Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh gods. Okay, so I would say Magic. Because, but you have to know the right formats to enter with Magic. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! I would only play Yu-Gi-Oh! If it was free. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has, like, some really, really weird meta stuff going on over the years. And some of the cards are just, like, expensive for just absolutely no reason. Magic's at least gotten better in recent years about reprinting shit. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh! Has not. They keep doing the secret rare bullshit. And I feel like they know what they're doing at this point. They know what they're doing. They have to know what they're doing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is for the rich. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is for the mid-tier rich. Magic is for the poor and for the rich. Magic has some formats that will make you gag. Hey, Fred, can you post a vintage deck? The price of a vintage deck for this man. Have you seen the cost of Black Lotus recently? It's on par with cars. Oh, man. I'll see if I'm getting time of another MTG stream when I come over. Yes! We play cheap MTG. We play cheap MTG, or at least, like, medium tier. To be fair, I do have a deck that is currently worth $2,000. However, I didn't pay $2,000 for the deck. I got some cards before they were expensive, and now it is worth $2,000. It is my Sliver deck. It is a very, very beautiful deck in like a nice wood box, actually. I got like a nice box for it. It's like a wooden box with like burned in Sliver designs all over it. It's really cool. The deck is very expensive. But part of that is mostly from like the alternate versions I have. The only cards I have in the deck that are like super expensive, I mean I have a few cards that are expensive, but the only cards that are like super expensive, super adventurous, like one of the alt art fetch lands, Sliver Queen, and the gold birder version of Survival of the Fittest. And then I proxy Gaia's Cradle. Like even in that deck, I proxy Gaia's Cradle, I proxy the dual lands. I don't actually have like the real versions of it. The workshop deck. Oh gods! Mishra's Workshop! Yeah, Fred has just posted a deck. This is a thing people play with.
Can't see Jack. Hope they have the same problem.
This is gonna be fun. Yeah, Workshop deck is like one of the higher priced ones, I think. Shut, I have to blacklist Opera GX after stream. The boat's on fire! I just saw a tree on fire. Yeah, it's the swamp. It'll be fine. There's a lot of moisture. It's fine. No, vintage decks are fucking insane. People who play vintage into a lesser degree legacy without proxying are goddamn madmen. Legacy doesn't have the problem as bad because you don't have the Power 9, which are like the most expensive and powerful cards that have basically never been reprinted since like the first 3 sets, which are just one set being reprinted over and over again, ironically. Yeah, it is a whole new level of fucking madness. Is this the price of a one card deck? No, it's a 75 card deck. But you should be able to see the prices for each of the cards too. Some of those cards are in the thousands on their own, and with many of them you need multiple copies. I think Mishra's Workshop you need multiple copies, right? And it's like a several $1,000 card, or at least a several $100 card. Then you have Gaia's Cradle. Oh man, there are so many expensive cards in Vintage, which is why I don't play it. I have played with some of the cards before. I proxy a Gaia's Cradle and dual lands in my deck for slivers. But Commander is a format where proxying cards, like using fake cards, is much more acceptable in a lot of areas. Not everyone, but a lot of people are more acceptable with it. Bill Cipher is watching, everybody. The Deathly Hollows are here, and Bill Cipher is watching.
Working overtime today.
Fucking dead man hooked on a wall. But yeah, this entire deck, and remember, this is not for the most expensive versions of these cards. This is for the cheapest versions of this deck. $1,500 over? Let me actually see. I'm going to pull it up real quick because I want to show you guys, everyone else on stream, what we're talking about. So this is a $5,000 deck for its cheapest variants. One of the cards costs $4,500. Another card costs $17,000. That's Black Lotus for you bitches. This is the cheapest version of this card that you can get a hold of. Or no, wait, no, they have this version too. Sorry, they have a $3,000 version. Pre-Proxy Affinities. Those old folks just want a good game. Yeah. Legacy's a bit different. Legacy, they actually do want to use the original cards. My shop, I can't say every shop. My shop, personally, I know, has a limit of like, 2 playsets, so like 8 cards proxied at most. It was either 8 or 12. I'm trying to remember if it's 8 or 12. It's either 8 or 12. It's like 2 or 3 sets of cards, playsets of cards, you can proxy. But you need everything else. Fucking how? Excuse me? Oh, that's nothing, dude. A really good condition 10 out of 10 Black Lotus a few years back before the scalping boom, so it's probably worth more now. Sold for $100,000. A piece of cardboard sold for $100,000. And then there's the $1 million card. The one-of-one alternate One Ring. It is a special version of the One Ring, a limited edition card from the Lord of the Rings set that's really, really expensive. That is worth, well, I mean, it was bought for millions of dollars, $1 million. I don't think it was worth $1 million personally, even if it is a one-of-one copy. But like, damn, it's, I mean, fucking, I guess whatever. If you're a rapper who makes a lot of money, yeah, a rapper bought it. I forget, what was his name? What was the rapper that bought the damn thing? Trying to remember. Oh well. But yeah, there are some fucking expensive cards in Magic the Gathering. The thing you need to understand is that a lot of these are... Well, okay, so the reason Magic cards have been allowed to get to a price that even most Yu-Gi-Oh cards can't get to is... So, you know that video you sent me of Yu-Gi-Oh? At the end of the video, they talk about how there was a prize card, the Synchro Monster, that is never going to be reprinted because there's some kind of legal dispute with the artist, right? Well, apparently... Post Malone, that was it. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you, Assembly. But okay, so the reason that Vintage is a separate format from Legacy, because Vintage and Legacy are actually very simple. They're both formats that deal in, like, all cards allowed. The difference is Legacy has a ban list, Vintage has a restricted list. Meaning things aren't banned, they're just restricted to one copy. There have only been, like, 1 or 2 things that are banned in Vintage, like the anti-cards, or... I think, not even Charizard is, like, banned, I don't think. But, like... Luris was banned, but that's because it only needs to be 1 copy, so they had to. It's like a combo deck. But the reason that Vintage cards are expensive is because a lot of them are on the reserve list. Now, there are plenty of Legacy cards like Gaia's Cradle that are also expensive and on the reserve list. But Legacy has what are called the Power 9. These are 9 cards that were considered so powerful, they basically win you the game. You were talking like free mana rocks that essentially give you turn 1 like as much mana as you need. The Black Lotus, which lets you sacrifice to get 3 mana. It costs 0 to play. It's basically like insane resource value. We have a 2 mana Time Walk. That's right. Take an extra turn on turn 2 with no other setup. Draw 3 cards for 1 mana instant speed. That also has extra value in that it can deck out an opponent because it says target player for some godforsaken reason. These Time Twister let you completely draw a new hand for 2 mana and shuffle in everything. Cards that are so absurd, they will never be reprinted. And even in Vintage, they are restricted to 1 copy. There's also a 10th card that sees a lot of playing Commander called Soul Ring, which is a 1 mana rock that gives you 2 mana. So there's a similar mana proposition value to a Signet, or not to a Signet, to a Moxen, in the sense that it like can turn down turn 1 and essentially net you mana. Where most mana rocks don't like net you positive mana value on turn 1, right? You play an Arcane Signet on turn 2, it's gonna reduce the amount of mana you have to spend on other things that turn to 1 mana from 2 mana. Whereas Soul Ring, you drop it down and you go from 2 mana to 3 mana. So there's like an insane value for Moxen. They're gross. And the Power 9 are so absurd, they're banned in Vintage. However, they're playable in Vintage. And they are so absurdly powerful that basically every deck runs them. Like, it's to the point where blue decks are actually just like really more powerful than other decks because 2 of the Power 9 are blue. 3 of the Power 9 are blue, sorry. Time Twister, Time Walk, and Ancestral Recall are all blue cards. And they're all just really good. And so you see a lot of blue decks in there. But there are also other cards too. And so these cards are really powerful. Now you might have been wondering, why don't they just reprint them? I mean, if they don't see me play, you know, they're just going to piss off the old collectors. Talk about this one day, you are. They already are, because those cards are never getting reprinted. For legal reasons. See, a long time ago, back when Magic the Gathering was first started out, you have to understand, Magic was the first card game, alright? It was the first. There was no precedent to how to run games. There was no precedent on reprint equity or collectors or how do you manage player bases in different formats. There was kitchen table Magic, and then they had a tournament. It was very, very different than what you would see in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic today, okay? And as a result of this, they did a reprint set where they reprinted a bunch of rares from the original few sets. A few sets in, they did a reprint set. And collectors got pissed. They watched their card values tank. People who just bought cards were upset because now they couldn't trade them for other stuff. Like, nobody wanted to trade back. And Magic, being young and not understanding the damage this could do, decided to make an official announcement. They swore, you know, Wizards of the Coast said, we will not reprint the cards on this, the reserve list. Store of business are not making their inventories worthless. Yeah. And so Magic swore they were never going to reprint a bunch of cards. Basically, it ended up being most rares from early sets, like Urza Saga or Alpha and Beta. And as a result of this, a bunch of cards from the earliest sets of Magic are bound by this promise. And in recent years, Magic the Gathering has admitted, a lot of people who work on Magic have admitted, even people who worked on it back in the day, have admitted it was the dumbest thing they ever did, right? Like, this was the dumbest decision. Everyone involved in the decision has basically said it was a terrible decision, we shouldn't have done it. But they have done it, and as a result of the fact that they have made this promise, nowadays Wizards of the Coast is worried that if they go back on the promise, they will get sued. There's something called promissory estoppel, I think, which is basically the idea if you give somebody the implication something will be worth money by the value of it not being made more available, the idea of it to be a limited quantity, they can sue you for the lost value. And even though it's likely that Wizards of the Coast would win, because they actively don't like their cards to have official value anyway, because of the fact that they don't want to be seen as gambling, the lawsuit itself is enough of, like, even if they would win the lawsuit existing itself is enough of a deterrent that the legal teams will basically not allow them to reprint it. Like, even though there are people
Well, listen,
on the
ain't
Wizards of the Coast
more
Magic the Gathering
petty
team who would
cheese
like to
wedge.
reprint
Done tumble
the
back
Power
on
9.
Destiny's
Trust me,
Lady
there are some people in the
Susan.
financial division
Lady
that would
Diana
love
made so
to
much
reprint the
bogs
fucking
for.
Power
I
9.
barely remember
They
my
even
own
did it
name.
too. They printed these not legal
Maybe
for
I oughta
standard
put my
play
cauldron
cards
off
with like
the
a
devil.
different back as like
This
collector
place,
items.
it
And they
ain't
sold like
some
hotcakes.
regular
There are
shop, is
people
it?
in the financial divisions
used to
that
be
would
cheap.
love
Some belonged
to
to a little
reprint
school.
the
One of
Power
them
9,
office folk
make
tired
them
of
legal in
fortune
Commander, and like
Business
throw
plans
them
their
in a
own
Commander
people.
Masters set every
Live
once in a
off
while
the land.
to make the people go
Sand
wild. Especially now that
critters.
like Lotus
Kept
Blue
bug off
Command,
all that
now
fresh
that like
cheese.
now that like Jeweled
Some
Lotus
say
is
she
banned,
real
there are plenty of people in the
But-
finance division who
But
know about
what?
the card game
But
who are
the same
probably
company she ran
desperate
from bought out the
to
whole
be able to
area.
print the reserve list.
Booted her out.
Even if they wouldn't
Since
reprint them
then,
to a level
this
where it'd make the
place
cards
been home to
cheaper,
all
not
kinds
really,
of shady
they
folks.
would love
Cheese
to reprint them
and
like once or
scientists.
twice every like decade just to rake in
Par
a
for
ton
the
of
course
money.
with this
It would
case.
be like, we have a
Anything
bad
that
quarter,
can
reprint the
go
fucking
just
Power
right.
9. Throw them in a
That's
set.
right.
Doesn't matter.
But it
We're gonna
works the other
sell.
way,
We're gonna
too.
sell.
Witches,
They do this with other
magicians,
cards. There are cards like
scientists,
Cyclonic
folk
Rift
like that.
or
They don't leave a place untouched.
risk not
Juju
Ristic Studies.
lingers, no.
God, or
And when they
Ragavan
went
now,
down
right?
in that old Buffalo
Ragavan
resort a
or
fortnight ago, well,
the
you
shock
can see
lands,
for
the fetch lands,
yourself.
where you just throw them in a set and people go crazy. Because people
All
want
in
those
due
cards.
time,
People want those
Cheryl.
cards for a bunch of
All
formats.
in due time.
And they would love
I got a trail
to
to
print
follow
them.
when it's getting cold.
But legal is
So
like
how do I get out of here?
literally into the sales
Well, that
early because how
part's
slow they were
easy.
selling.
You need
I thought,
the key of
or am I thinking of
diamonds.
something different?
Just the key of
That's just
diamonds.
wrong. I thought they did. I thought they
That and a
sold
little-
well. Am I incorrect? I thought they did sell well. Or am I thinking of the 30th anniversary thing? Okay, one second. I might be thinking of something different. One moment. I'm sorry. Oh, wait. Let me go back here.
I seen you work, Cheryl.
Okay, you're right. I
I
was thinking of something. I was thinking of that.
One thing before you go.
I was thinking of a
That
completely different
little
thing.
shrew lady you've been
People
talking
did not.
about.
People did not like that one.
That you?
Fine. People did not like the not legal for play ones.
Baby.
Sorry, I forgot about that one. That was the other. I was thinking for some. Why did I think that was that? Okay, I thought this was the like big anniversary bundle where they had all the different like different artists going over. Oh God, what was it? Sorry, MTG. The one where they reprinted Shivan Dragon. No, 30th anniversary did not sell out. They ended the sale. What was the set? Okay, I know there was one that sold out. What was the one with the Shivan Dragon? The alternate Shivan Dragon. Not the one... I think we were talking about this. I've gotten 30th anniversary confused with things before. This is not the first time either. What was it? I'm looking it up actually right now. I'm thinking of the Secret Lair Countdown thing. That was what I was thinking. Okay, I was thinking of that massive thing where they reprinted a bunch of popular cards with like very different artwork. The Secret Lair Countdown with the alternate Shivan Dragon and shit. The 30th anniversary countdown kit. I thought that one did sell well. I remember a lot of people at the card shop bought them, and I remember them. I thought they sold out. Or was that different? Was that a different one? I could have sworn Secret Layers are different. Okay. I was thinking of the 30th anniversary Secret Layer thing, not the 30th anniversary, not the 30th anniversary fetch, reserve list one. Still, there are definitely people in legal who would, in financial, who would love to reprint the Power 9, like, legally. But there would be, like, a lot of backlash to it. There would be a lot of backlash. A bunch of people would sue. Because one of the reasons reserve list cards, like I said, sell for as much as they do is that people have an intrinsic value to them. People have an intrinsic value to Secret Lair cards because there's like I said, the Promissory Estoppel thing kind of holds to an extent, even though Magic doesn't want to be seen as like having intrinsic value. That is not reserve card list. Yes, I understand. I was completely mistaken about the Secret Lair countdown thing. I was mistaken. That was something different. The one where they printed did not sell well. Although that was probably because, you know, A, they were breaking the promise, and B, it wasn't even legal. It is a bit weird, though, that those didn't sell well. Like, maybe... I do wonder if, like, they sold now, like, post-COVID with scalpers everywhere. Would it sell well or not? You know, this game wasted opportunities for Sam and Max references, or simply escaped my attention. They've been too busy making just, like, ridiculous mouse puns or just slapping the name mouse or cheese into everything. And no, I'm not going full IGN note too much cheese, because that's dumb. God damn it, I'm gonna die. Oof. Sorry. So the reserve list did not sell like hotcakes when they were printed without being legal. They did not do that. Although there is precedent for cards having value even if they're not legal in the game. Gold border reserve list cards do hold value. They're not as expensive as the original reserve list copies, but the gold bordered like Gaia's Cradle or Survival of the Fittest are actually decently expensive. Last I checked. I will caveat this with saying the last I checked was like a few months ago. I think for Gaia's Cradle. I'm not sure if their prices are tanked. I doubt it. One of the reasons is because I think that it was like $1,000 for a 4-pack. They didn't sell well because they were sold pre-scalped. Oh, okay. See, again, I was thinking of something very different. I was thinking of the goddamn, I was thinking of that, like, big secret layer thing they did for the 30th anniversary where they had, like, a big countdown supply of a bunch of classic cards with unique artwork on every one. You know that Shivan Dragon I showed you? Because, again, I make this mistake a lot. I constantly confuse it because they were both 30th anniversary things, and for some reason I get them the same way. For some reason I keep thinking they're the same thing and they're not. That's my bad, everybody. I get confused about this too. I'm sorry. I will refresh my point, though. I do know that they will sell decently well. Reserveless cards will actually sell decently well, and the reason I do believe that is because they sell well as fucking gold borders. Like, so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, gold border cards were a thing Magic did back in the day. Magic the Gathering wanted to print tournament decks. But they didn't just want to, like, print, like, pre-made tournament decks for people that were, like, essentially the winners of the world tournaments or whatever. So what they did was they printed in gold border. And what the gold border means is they're not legal in tournaments. However, the way they did that ruling basically says they're not legal in tournaments. Use them for kitchen top Magic. Or at least that's the implication a lot of people have taken, myself included. And the fact that they are worth a decent amount of money shows that. So reserve list cards got reprinted there, but not in a tournament legal way. And as a result, those copies are like the cheapest versions you can find for stuff. I actually own a gold bordered Survival of the Fittest. Here, let me show you. Let's see here. Survival of the Fittest. Survival of the Fittest. Oh god, this is a bad turn to search. Fuck, I'm not gonna get the card from that. Should have searched Gaia's Cradle. But I own a Survival of the Fittest, so I'm actually showing you this. It's a reserve list card, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Either that or it's a really old card that hasn't gone to reprint. Yeah. $1,000 packs are fucking suck. Yeah, so, reserve list. Part of the reserve list. Banned in Legacy. Legal in Vintage. It's also legal in Commander, which I play. So, the special Judge promo is not like an official printing. It got printed as part of like a Judge reward program. The Exodus version is $377. Oh, fucking hell. The Judge version is $1,600. The World Champ version is $70. Still a lot. Still a very pricey piece for your deck. I bought it when it was a bit cheaper, back when it was like $30, which, you know, still expensive, but not like this expensive. But it has this yellow border, you see? And the back is a little different, so you have to put it in the sleeve. And it even tells you the World Championship. And it was basically a World Champions deck. So, somebody who won the Magic World Champions, that is not a reserve list card. Yeah, it is. Survival of the Fittest is a reserve list card. It says so. Survival of the Fittest is a reserve list card. It actually says so. I highlighted it. Right here. Let me zoom in. Part of the reserved list. As you can see. Part of the reserve list. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I was thinking... I actually scrolled up on the other YouTube thing, and I thought he was talking about this. I was looking at a completely different part of it. I was looking at a completely different part of it. Anyway. I'm a little out of it tonight. A little off my game. Let's keep going through this haunted house of cultists.
And she's gone again.
Seriously, this lady is a fucking mage. I swear upon all that I hold dear, this lady is a mage. A-C-E-G. What's that musical thing sound like? A-C-E-G.
Looks heavy.
No, I saw your old, I actually scrolled up. Are you hearing voices again? No, I swear I'm not. I actually scrolled up when I was going to grab the tab. I scrolled up, and I accidentally, you know how you said after secret layers are different, you said that is not in reserve list, Carta? I actually scrolled up, so it looked like that was at the bottom of the chat, and I reflexively answered, and then I realized it was scrolled down, and I was like, oh gods, no. I'm going insane. I'm sorry. Oh gods. I forgot the fucking 4-letter combination. A-C-E-G. Good. Forgot a goddamn 4-letter combination. Alright. A-C-E-G.
Pling pling plon never fails.
Oh, it's the theme. Nice. But yeah. I do think Magic Gathering is a cool game. I hate the reserve list to an extent, but also like, oh god, okay, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. I'm gonna get in trouble if a Magic player ever hears this. As much as a part of me would love to play with the reserve list cards, you can kind of already do that if you really want to. You can basically, you're insane, but you own it. You're insane the best way possible. Virtuous insanity. Look, the reserve list cards are things you could play with as a Rule 0. You can proxy them. And I'm kind of glad they're not legal in General Commander. Because they're really, really too good. And I think that... Oh, god damn it. I think they're too good. I think they would need to be banned if they were part of Commander anyway. And... like, the Moxen are just too good. Like, I don't care how often you reprint them. And fast mana is already a problem in the format. And I don't want them to be regular cards used in Commander. Oh, no. So I am insane, part for sure. If I were offered the ability to make them legal, I don't think I would do it. I feel like I've grown enough of a Magic player. Because younger me definitely would do it, by the way. Younger me would have been like, of course I want the reserve list unbanned. I would love to play with all those cards. I wouldn't do it. At the very least, I would not print anything from Alpha or Beta. Maybe Urza Saga. I might be okay with Urza Saga reprinted. Those cards are a bit more balanced, and they're basically making functional reprints of them anyway nowadays.
Pling pling plon never fails.
But I don't think the cards from Alpha and Beta should be reprinted. And as a result, I don't think the reserve lists should be done away with. I think doing so would be a mistake. Oh, gods, that hurts to say. That hurts to... oh, gods, it hurts. It hurts so much. It hurts. I think it's good that they are basically functionally permanently banned and that Magic can't reprint them. I think this is a mostly good thing. At least for some of the Power 9 and some of the other stuff. Because if they were capable of being reprinted, they'd just be endless chase cards. Like, we've seen cards like this. We've seen what Wizards of the Coast will do with them. I don't want that to be something as destructive to the formats as a Power 9. Is this what growth feels like? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it! Ah! A part of me wants to be the new Magic player who's like, ooh, give me shiny. But I'm like, no, I've seen the destruction wreaked by powerful cards and formats. I have fucking perspective now. I have goddamn perspective. Wizards would print the cards, it doesn't stop me from printing them. Yeah. I don't think they need to be unbanned. And I've grown enough as a person. Would print them. Doesn't stop me from printing them. Won't print them. Yeah, exactly. If you want to play with them, play with them. Wizards can't stop you from printing them out on your computer. They're not the US government and they're not dollar bills. But oh gods, does it hurt. It hurts me right in the... in the little you know that little kid you have deep inside you that wants to just smash monster trucks together? It's that kid. That's where it hurts me. Is Magic update their cards like Yu-Gi-Oh? What do you mean update them? Magic gives them lots of new arts. Like, bunch of new art. Magic is big on the new art thing. Actually, one thing I think I really want them to bring back. So, a long time ago, back when they were doing, like, their early sets, they had this thing where they would print multiple copies of multiple different arts for the same card. Like, there are cards like Urza's Tower and the Urza lands. They're basically these lands that are tap for colorless mana, which means they're worse than most lands usually. But the benefit is if you have all of them out, they tap for either 2 or 3 mana for a total of 7 combined. So if you, it's basically if you... The fucking Weeping Angels are here. Fucking Weeping Angels!
She wasn't yanking my tail. Steve was really here. Hot damn.
Like retrain. Retrains? Oh, they do have retrains, yes. They do have, like, retrain-ish things where they kind of, like, redo the card. Like, Gaia's Cradle, for example. There have been a bunch of retrains of Gaia's Cradle, yeah. I forgot about retrains. Yes, we do have, like, things like retrains. Like, there's an entire cycle of, like, planets right now. I mean, Gaia's Cradle and Tolarian Academy. There are these lands that tap for, like, 1 taps for mana equal to the number of creatures you have, which is stupid, because unlike Yu-Gi-Oh!, we don't have a cap on the number of creatures you can have on the battlefield. And Tolarian Academy taps for the number of artifacts we have. Same fucking problem. They offer insanely fast starts to the game, and one thing that I am aware of is that there are a bunch of, like, pseudo-retrains of them. So there was this one retrain where you had an enchantment, and when you met the conditions, they flipped into essentially a better version of the land. I say better version because the downside of the lands, they don't tap for mana if you don't have the thing they tap for. So, like, if you don't have any artifacts, they tap for no mana. I understand it correctly. Yu-Gi-Oh! Buffs cards sometimes, adding effects or bringing supportive cards and stuff. Not sure what you were talking about. That's what I meant. Oh, yeah, they do support older archetypes. Really frequently, they'll regularly bring back other stuff. They don't just, like, add brand new effects to a card out of nowhere. That's basically called errataing. We don't really do that. I mean, we don't do that often. And usually if an errata happens, it's to nerf a card. We don't really do buffs via errata. I say that, but there are times where changes to rules have buffed cards or nerf cards, but that's a little different. The most recent version of a card that's been changed, like the actual text reads differently even on old versions, is that of the Companions. Companions were... Alright, look, the Commander format is very popular. You have a Commander, it's your card, it defines how you make your deck. Magic the Gathering was all obsessed with doing that in every format, and so they made Companions. And the deal with Companions were, if you met this deck building requirement, you had to put the Companions out of your sideboard as a special zone where you could cast the card whenever you felt like it as long as you had the mana. So you essentially started the game with 8 cards, and in exchange, you had a deck building requirement. Like Luris, the very, very popular one, said you couldn't have any cards that are go on the battlefield, permanent cards, that cost more than 2 mana. Turns out that's fucking broken, because you can still have really expensive instant sorcery cards. And Luris was so broken, so overpowered as a card. You have to understand, it's a very simple card. It's like a creature, not that great, 3 mana for a 3/2 with lifelink, but it lets you put a card with the mana value of 2 or less onto the battlefield once per turn. Alright, 3 or less, actually, sorry. I think it was 3 or less. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe not 2 or less, 3 or less. And it was so broken because it let you recur things like Black Lotus. In Vintage, it's insane. Like, it's broken in every format. Modern, it was pretty broken. Legacy was very broken. But Vintage, good gods. Vintage already plays a lot of non-permanent... Ooh, sorry. A lot of non-permanent cards. I might need to grab a lozenge. Oh, my god. already plays well on non-permanent cards. And as a result, Lurrus was able to recur Black Lotus. And it could be cast with Black Lotus. So you could play Black Lotus, play Lurrus from free, not even from your hand, but from exile, and then replay Black Lotus, use a 3-mana for something else, and have a board state with no card use. I have no cough drops on me. That was a mistake. Fool, fool, fool. But, yeah. We're about to wind down, so I'm not going to grab one right this second. But yes, Lurrus was so bad that it was the first time in all of history that Vintage, the format that everything is legal in, had a power level errata. What that, a power level ban. What that means is it was banned in Vintage, not because it's an anti-card and they're illegal, because we don't play with the anti-mechanic anymore. It was banned for power level reasons. You have to understand, that essentially made Lurrus the de facto most powerful card in all of Magic. It had to be dealt with. The entire mechanic was broken. Companions were seeing play left and right, in every format. And so, compare with the Pauper deck costing $70. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Deck's wide range of costs. Play with your cross range. Play in your cross range. And so, the companion mechanic was errata. It was very simple. Basically, instead of being able to play the card from exile, you have to pay 2 mana to put it into your hand. This means it can be dealt with by cards to make you discard things. It has to be done during your turn. You have to add the card to your turn, and you have to pay an additional mana cost before you can play them. Essentially made them all cost 2 more mana. It dealt with them. Now, plenty of companions still see play. Lurrus and Lurrus and Yorion, which is another card where you have to play with like an oversized deck, see play, because they're good cards for certain decks. Lurrus is basically free in some decks. Like, there are plenty of decks that just already don't play with high permanent value cards. Oh man, I'm really feeling bad right now. I'm gonna try and talk a little bit less. Sorry. But they already meet the requirements, so they just play with them anyway. But for most decks that were shoving Lurrus in or making their decks suboptimal to play with the really broken thing, the errata made them worse. It's one of the only times in recent history that an entire mechanic has been power level errata, strictly to make it worse for power level reasons because it was too broken. Like, there are very few examples of that in history of Magic, and I will probably say Lurrus is the most blatant. It was actually a problem. I still believe that pre-errata Lurrus is the most powerful card in all of Magic. It was insane. I played a suboptimal B-tier Hardened Scales Affinity deck in Modern. Basically, I play with artifacts and I put lots of buff counters on them, move counters around, and I basically cheat at math. Like, there are cards that say move counters when things die, and I play with multiple of those effects, and so they all get the counters when they die. And they're like, so this thing died with 5 counters, so this gets 5 counters, and this gets 5 counters, and this gets 5 counters, and all of those times I add counters, I'm going to add an additional one. I basically cheat at math when I'm playing the deck. It's fun. I did like it. And I played Lurrus, because my deck met the requirements, and I could play it for basically free. The only thing I had to do was splash black mana, which I could do with some dual lands, which I was already doing anyway for Dismember, and 1 or 2 other cards, even though Dismember can be paid without paying the black cost, and I like to have the life mana if you can't pay the life for the moment. And so I played with Lurrus. And every time I brought it out, my opponents were like, oh, fuck. Because in the decks that play it, it essentially lets you play cards for free. Do you know how powerful playing a card for the graveyard for its mana cost once per turn is? It's not a powerful effect on a 3-drop on its own, but with the idea that you have a consistency. Because the deal with Magic is that inconsistency is the name of the game. Even if you play with 4 copies of a card, there are going to be games where you never draw it. My brain bugs to know how this game isn't fully cel-shaded, but they're using plenty stylized 3D instead. I don't have any issue with it. My neuron does register that. I know, right? I'm registering it all the time. Like, you have the doors. Look at the doors. The doors are, like, pretty cel-shaded, and then... But they're also, like, partially 3D. And then you have, like, a lot of the objects and environment details are, like, this stylized 3D, right? But then all the characters and some of, like, the effect detailing are 2D. Like, we have this 3D, and then we just have this, like, web texture. with this, like, fucking 2D spider that I can nearly turn to a line by lining up properly. Or like how this... Oh, it's a baseball card. Nice. Collected a baseball card. Probably missed a few of those. But yeah, Magic the Gathering has some broken cards. So if you're wondering about that, we tend to do for depowering cards, not
They just
empowering
keep
cards.
making more of you, huh?
We just make new cards if they're not good enough. Oh shit. More corrupt cops. How many... Okay, I gotta ask, how many police are in this city? Like, I feel like I should have killed... I feel like this is an unreasonable number of cops. Right? Like, I feel like I probably should have killed all the cops in the city. Wow, that is a line that's gonna get taken out of context one day. That is a line that's gonna get taken out of context one day. I think I should have killed all the cops in the city by now. There's a line you can take out of context. Oh, I can blow up the cars! Oh, no, I can't blow up the cars. I thought I could. Oh, well. Because, you know, to imitate drawing 3D, probably the best way when it comes to imitating drawing. Yeah, it is. It's a good style. I like it. Oh, we gotta set the tree on fire. I do not like hate nature. Oh, also, Pope. The Pope letter. Let's take this back to the beginning. Pope letter. Pro-environmental message. He's like, we have to look after our environment, too, and do things sustainably. I remember that. I forget which section that was in, but he did talk about doing things sustainably.
So that's where
And taking care of the
crooked cops
environment.
were ferrying the shrews. The uphill resort. Or as city mice like to call it.
But,
Good
yeah.
old nut
I found
house.
over my cough for a
Place
bit.
has been
Good
locked
for me.
down tight ever since that incident
20
20 years
years
ago.
ago. Ooh, keeping it
Getting
vague.
in's gonna take some finesse.
So I am wondering, though, how many cops are in the city? Because I feel like I've killed them all by now. Again, line taken out of context and all, but, like, seriously, there are a lot of corrupt cops. We've seen, like, one good cop, too. It was that one cowardly cop that was, like, locked in the prison, right? And he ran away. And then we're an ex-cop who's, like, against all this. But everything else is just like, we're all corrupt cops. We've got hundreds of them. Thousands, even. I must have killed at least a few hundred of them by now. God made us to look after the earth. Pro-vital message just makes sense. I mean, yeah. Very. Many.
Something tells me the next step is pinned to
Many.
the end of a gray string.
Green. Pin your quagmire coups. Cameron
Hey,
Bozo.
Stinkdale, what do you know about local cults?
Well, Spike D's got quite the cult following, so,
Sweet Lyburn. No, something more classic,
think.
like, I don't know,
Crazy,
crazy, trigger-happy, big on robes, that kind of cult.
not much to go on, but, oh! Uh-huh. Yeah,
Dude, you have to
There's
have to
a bunch
return to
of
the
loonies.
shadiest fucking
Came
pose
down from the north a
possible.
couple of months back.
Like, this is like
They
the
checked
shadiest
all
thing
the
you could do with
boxes.
yourself.
Robes,
Ripping your arm
seal
away, like not even
heat,
using
all
your
that
left
jazz.
arm to guard your
Let me
face.
tell you, boss,
Doing
they
the thing
can
with
take
like
bull
you
like
take your
Brian
right
Coker
arm and
after
loop
a
it under your
solid
chin,
swing.
and you're like,
Last I heard,
this
they've
is like
been
the
hanging around the
shadiest
secret
possible pose you can
showgrounds.
make.
Yeah.
And like the
What
squinting
hell is
eyes,
this
like this
secret
is like the
show? I got a
shadiest a
murder and two
person can
crazy
look.
leads pointing me straight
Or a
at it.
mouse, I guess, in this
Oh,
case.
Manja and Manja's secret show, of course. Huge fair. Can't miss it.
Okay.
Clowns, mimes.
Nice.
The Wikes. You must have been there at least once.
No, I hate mimes.
Yeah.
Rude.
Anyway,
Rude to mimes.
boss, the bestest of bestest bosses.
I do like it when our
The
shooter
grounds
protagonists
are
have a
like
bit of
the
character to
perfect
them.
spot for the cultists and crazies. They blend.
See, I
right
think
into
there is
the
a place for the
crowd.
silent protagonist.
Maybe.
But I
But
also
there
do
are
like it when
mimes.
I have a protagonist who's constantly has like their own thing going on, is constantly
Jack?
making their own comments.
What's new, Wussy Mouse?
It's one of the things that I
Well,
really
not
liked about
much.
the
You gotta go to
occultist,
the
and I'm
nut
going to be
house,
putting that in my review.
Well, I'm
I really
glad
like
you're
how much
ready to have
character
that
the main
talk.
the main
I've been
character
thinking
had.
about
Like
an
he was like,
intervention.
I am used to the occult.
No,
I'm used to
I
all
mean,
this
actually
shit.
go
I'm not gonna
there.
freak
It's a
out
dead end for the
constantly.
missing shrews.
I've
The
seen a
thieves'
ghost or
cheese
two. I
cone
know how to
trail
deal
ends
with
right
them.
at the front gate.
Dad,
too.
you're here.
So,
Like we gotta
what's
help
stopping
you
from
out,
getting
man.
a room with a view?
Well, I do have this fancy perforated
know?
card.
It's like,
You
fuck
really
you,
needed
bitch.
to run this by me?
Fuck you, you crazy
Just go
undead
and
man. I'm
punch
gonna
in.
put you to rest. Like, a guy who's, like, actually been around the block a few times with the occultism stuff, he gives you that vibe. He's a bit bland, but he has plenty of stuff.
By the day. Might even get napkins.
It's great. I think they add a lot of... I think it adds a lot to your game to have a protagonist who's making comments and feels like they live in the world.
Sit down, Jack. Have a drink with me.
Why, are you thirsty?
Oh, no. It's just... oh, never mind. Mr. Brown, 2 glasses of your finest fondue.
Coming right up.
All right, you got something on your mind, or we just drinking the drink?
Oh, no occasion. Just need to take the edge off. You know, politics, backroom deals. You wrestle enough snakes, you start wondering if you have scales yourself.
You know, that's actually a really good line.
So we
I like
getting
it. That's actually a good
sentimental
line. I think that was good.
Right you are, my friend.
You wrestle enough snakes, you start to wonder if you have scales yourself.
Those were the days.
It gets to, like, the heart
Us three
of, like,
against the whole
you know, fighting against, like, corrupt politicians. Like, you're trying to be the good politician, but, like,
I
you have to
remember it
compromise
different.
yourself so much.
Oh.
Maybe you're just as ruthless.
A lot of smoke. A lot
Very
of
simple
gas.
concept. You know, we've seen it before, but I like the way it
And
was
that
delivered.
sound.
Solid delivery. Solid.
You know the
solid
one.
line.
Like a drop of water that won't come out of your ear.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Hey there, buddy.
There's a very stilted relationship between these two. I love it. It gives so much dynamic to this character. Hate silent protagonist, usually. Depends on from convention. See, I don't mind it with things like Link. Or even Samus, to a degree. Because Samus is like this, like, stone cold badass, right? She's like this, like, very determined, very, like, silent, Jango Fett kind of person. Boba Fett, Jango Fett, whatever.
Maybe it is all connected.
It is. We have a conspiracy board.
I've seen that symbol before. Just can't put my finger on where.
Alright, I think I'm gonna go and end it here for the night before I completely devolve into coughs. I will see you guys all next time. It's been a joy talking with each and every one of you. Bye.